On July 1935, something very strange happened in the Caribbean. A group of Haitian soldiers crossed the border into the Dominican Republic and opened fire on a sugar plantation, killing several people. The Dominicans retaliated, and soon both countries were at war. But what started it all? A pig. That's right. This bizarre conflict would become known as the Pig War. But how did a pig spark an international incident? Let's find out. In the early 20th century, the island of Hispaniola was divided between the Dominican Republic in the east and Haiti in the west. And while they shared the island, the two countries were not exactly friendly. There were frequent border disputes, and both sides had territorial claims that the other didn't recognize. And when it came to agriculture, well, things were even more complicated. You see, sugar was a big business in the Caribbean, and both countries wanted to expand their plantations into the disputed territory. This led to tensions rising, and soon it looked like it might lead to violence. In an effort to stop that, the neighboring countries signed a treaty in 1929, agreeing to a demilitarized zone along their borders. It didn't work. On October 1933, a group of armed Haitians crossed the border and attacked a Dominican military post. The Dominicans fought them off, but this was only the beginning. On May 2nd, 1935, a group of Dominican soldiers patrolled near the border to Haiti. Suddenly, they heard gunshots coming from across the river. They couldn't see who was firing, but they knew it was the Haitians. So they returned fire. When the smoke cleared, they found that they had killed 2 men, a woman and a child. The Dominicans held up their hands in surrender, but they refused and kept shooting until they were dead. This small border skirmish would soon turn into a full-blown war. And while the fighting was over, territory, it was really about one thing: sugar. As the fighting continued, each side began to claim more land for themselves. The Haitians advanced into the east, capturing key towns like Dajabon and Vereda. The Dominicans fought back, pushing them back toward the border. By November, both sides claimed all of Hispaniola for themselves. Neither side could claim victory, but both had taken valuable land away from the other. But as the fighting continued, it became clear that neither side could win. The Dominican Republic simply didn't have the resources to keep up the fight. And with world powers watching, they knew that if it got much worse, they would intervene. Soon after, the two countries agreed to meet with US and Chilean diplomats to end the conflict. But why was the United States involved? Well, let's go back to 1924. At the time, the island was still under the control of the brutal dictator Rafael Trujillo. The US wanted him gone and pressured the country to hold elections. When he won, they didn't recognize it. In response, Trujillo turned to the Axis powers, hoping that they would support him in his fight against the hated Americans. When that didn't work, he decided to make a deal with the devil, or in this case, the Red Army. He allowed them to set up shop in the Dominican Republic, much to the dismay of the United States. And so they sent troops to keep an eye on him. When the fighting broke out, they had to get involved. Eventually, the 3-day war came to an end, with the signing of the Treaty of Washington. Under its terms, the two countries would return to their original borders, and all the land that they had taken during the conflict would be returned to their owners. The United States and Chile would oversee the withdrawal of troops and establish a new border commission to prevent future conflicts. While this ended the fighting, there would be many more border disputes between the two countries in the future. So why do you think these two countries went to war? For territory, for power, for money? None of the above. Just an old-fashioned pig war. Thanks for watching.